On cue.
There we go. That's the lowest part of the net, so that's for him at 6-6, a relatively high percentage serve.
130 on the Porsche speed gun.
You got to credit Verkerk there. That's not the type of point you expect him to win. That was a long, tough, hard-fought clay court point where he was on the defensive for most of that. It was very well done.
He doesn't want to have to play too many of those kinds of points, Martin Verkerk, because that'll get to his legs. I mean, Ferrero's doing a good job. Again, even when he's not winning points, he's trying to take the legs away from Verkerk, make his serve even more tired and scratchy.
Exactly why he was still breathing for air there on that first serve. Just hope Ferrero misses a second serve to turn.
Yeah, that's too bad. That was a weary point.
You're right. It paid dividends later on.
Yeah. And now he's walking back to the ball boys to gain himself a little bit more time instead of having the ball boys throw the balls at him, trying to get in as many restorative breaths as he can. Because as we saw in the first set, I mean, if he gets broken, it's pretty much over. He doesn't want to give back a break in this second set.
Take a look. Appeared to be just long. It was.
Pascal Maria from France out of the chair. But again, even just doing that buys Verkerk a few extra moments.
Now you're starting to understand, Ted. He's still recovering from that point.
Avantage, Ferrero.
And what happens when you get tired? Your form breaks down. He was standing straight up on this shot.
Awful close. You certainly will take a look at that. Just barely wide. Quarter of an inch. This was by Ferrero.
Oh.
Ferrero.
Bad miss on the second. Momentum done. Break back to Ferrero. After the French Open Men's Championship today on NBC, a preview of golf's greatest championship, the United States Open. First round coverage begins 3 Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, Thursday from Chicago as Tiger goes for his 9th major. You think about this, Mary and John, you know, we talked about Verkerk's rise. He was playing a challenger during this event a year ago. He'd never played a 5-set match until he got here. And here he is trying to win his 7th best of 5 in 2 weeks.
Well, it also shows how incredible an effort this is because he played 2 Grand Slams. Roddick, who's obviously a big hitter and ends points fairly quickly, he lost to at the Open. Philippoussis, we know, is one of the biggest hitters around. He played in Australia. And then to play the likes of Moya, Coria, pulled these matches out. Spadia, the American, who's made a great run back into the top 30. Now to face the best of them all when you've played your 7th match, I mean, that's a tall task.
Wim Verkerk, a very successful businessman in the Netherlands. The waste disposal business. I guess we could say what, the Wayne Huizing of the Netherlands.
Very wealthy man.
But Verkerk played the first 5 matches here in a t-shirt with an unmarked racket. And finally on Friday, when he played Coria in the semis, he suddenly, amazingly, had sponsors.
Isn't that funny how that happened?
Interesting.
That happened with Zina Garrison years ago when she played the final of Wimbledon. She had gotten to the semis with no sponsorship, and all of a sudden, she's decked out.
This is interesting, though, because Verkerk has bounced back from being broken, down 30 love. Ferrero's gotten a little careless here.
Cautious, in fact. That's not good at all.
A little tight. Now Verkerk has a chance to break again. That was the hardest serve Ferrero's hit today. 115 miles an hour gets him out of trouble. Again, Verkerk has to guess there. No choice. Nice time to hit your best serve. That's a tough way to try to win a point. I mean, he's going side to side like a yo-yo out there. Is Verkerk.
Avantage, Ferrero.
And this is the kind of thing that Andre Agassi does so well to his opponents. And he just grinds them down. And Juan Carlos Ferrero on clay does the exact same thing. And even if you win some of those, you win the battles, but it's very hard to win the war.
So Ferrero saves a break point. Second set on serve. Well, Martin Verkerk's power, and particularly that serve, has been so effective in getting him to these finals. As Porsche presents the fastest serves during Roland Garros, and Verkerk's second only to Roddick. And 5th, and probably about
9th,
exactly
10th.
I think Fernando Gonzalez is a guy, the Chilean, who beat Ferrero, incidentally, to win the juniors here 5 years ago. Is Gonzalez a guy to watch at Wimbledon?
Well, he's not comfortable coming to net. He hits the ball unbelievably hard, but I think that would be a long shot. But if the courts are playing slow, I mean, if Nalbandian can do it. That's a great touch. But to be honest, I don't even know if Gonzalez is going to be at Wimbledon. Because I got it, you won't believe this, Ted, but I got an offer to play again. He obviously needed some confidence. But in 10 days, I got an offer to play Gonzalez in Chile on clay.
That's good.
Which I don't know would be ideal preparation for Wimbledon.
Again, the delicacy, the touch of this man.
Yeah.
You know, there was momentum going for Verkerk when he got that early break, and it's gone away. That's a hard thing to slam the door on on the shifting terrain of a match so quickly. I mean, he had the fans going with him. It looked like he was serving better, moving a little bit better.
And you know, Mary, what I think? It was that drop shot. When in doubt, blame it on the drop shot.
No, actually, I think it was that long point. You know,
Yeah.
it took a lot out of him, and he didn't recover in time. This is not going to be good for Verkerk if he loses serve.
Verkerk just has not improved at all in his first serve percentage from the first set, still at 42%.
That's what's got to start doing his talking for him. Not those long rallies. I
And when he puts the first serve in, you can see obviously on how poorly he's playing on his second serve.
Well, it just gives Ferrero that much more time to prepare and react and take control of the point. I mean, 1 out of 4 second serves he's winning.
ultimately, those rallies will work so much against Verkerk. He'll go too far for too little.
Ferrero's doing to him what he wanted to do to Ferrero, which is keep him moving, hitting off balance on the run, and he's needs badly to pull out of this game.
Service.
Well, right now, Verkerk would just love to order up, especially about 2 big bombs here.
Well, but he took something off the first to get it in there. I think that would be a good idea again. Make sure he gets that first serve in.
Right on again, coach.
When he drops down to a mere 120, that's
a nice safe
it's
serve.
a dream. For him, it's safe.
It's a
For me,
change-up.
it's a dream. That's actually not pretty good for Ferrero that he's getting enough heat to keep Verkerk at bay. Tighten up on that return. That's a good sign for Verkerk. Feeling the moment himself, Ferrero. That double fault's like a body blow in boxing, just a punch right in the stomach. Just knocks the wind and air and momentum right out of you.
The worst part is you're punching yourself.
Yes, 6 for Verkerk.
Tension is clearly mounted for Ferrero here. This is the first sign of trouble if you were expecting Ferrero to win this. Probably should have already broken Verkerk's serve. Not gonna happen yet.
There was what Verkerk needed. Saves the game for 3-all, second set. Later today, 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, AFL semifinals. Defending AFL champ San Jose hosts Arizona. Winner plays Tampa Bay in Arena Bowl 17. AFL semifinals later today on NBC.
Cancel.
That forehand, not been a good one for Verkerk.
Cancel.
Yeah, I do. Ferrero, who grew up in a town on Teniente, Spain, about 30,000. Played in Vienna, where there were only hard courts.
His hometown, Teniente, didn't even have a tennis court until he built one there a couple of years ago. This is his girlfriend.
She's well prepared.
She is. She's got her war paint on. And Ferrero should maybe be a little bit bolder right now, because he should be winning this match and dictating. He's complicating his life a little bit, Ferrero. He's getting some help from Verkerk.
And he does have an easy service game. Live from Paris, French Open presented by Raymond James, the men's championship. An all-Spanish final last year in which Juan Carlos Ferrero fell to Albert Costa. The Dutch have crashed the party this year, and right now they're trying to urge on their newest tennis hero, Martin Verkerk, on serve second set after an easy first set for Ferrero. Wind is starting to kick up again. It died down for a bit. There's been some comparison, folks who've watched Verkerk now, of his game to as a right-handed version of Goran Ivanisevic in that it's not just a serve, that he can play.
And he's not really a serve volleyer. I mean, Goran Ashley's ground strokes were better than his volleys were, but he proved that eventually with that big serve he could pull off that miraculous run at Wimbledon.
Actually, Goran Ivanisevic was a clay courter. The only time he served in volley was on grass, which is why he never really did that well in the other majors. He had his volleys were good grass court volleys. That's not going to work.
Again, he held on to that ball a little bit longer, waited for Verkerk to make his move, put the ball away easily. The ball sat up because of the wind. Also a bit of a giveaway. Ferrero had time to line this up. Now, when you say they were good grass court volleys, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I mean, most of Goran's winning volleys, he just kind of dumped them in over the net. They were short. You know, that he had funny grips, Goran Ivanisevic. They just die as soon as they went off his racket onto the grass.
I think a lot of cases he didn't have hit volleys. He was winning 2-3 points a game on just the huge serve he has, which Verkerk obviously has the potential of as well at Wimbledon. And again, struggling here at 15-30. Easily could have been down 5-2 in the second set. Having to work way too hard on the serve. The toss dropped so low. There's just no chance that was going to go in. A weary serve. That's going to work every time. Verkerk at 15 all, Mary, hit a big first serve. To me, he needs to come in on some of those, shorten these points, which he didn't do and eventually lost it. This ball's hit right back to Ferrero. If you give him time off both sides, he's improved that backhand. Now again facing 2 break points.
Oh, what a return of serve.
So much for the serve volley.
Well, it's funny, though, John. A year ago, Verkerk says he didn't even know how to volley. I mean, this guy, he spent a lot of his time, Martin Verkerk. He just wanted to be a top 100 player. He never had great aspirations for himself, whereas Juan Carlos Ferrero has now claimed that he wants to be #1 in the world, and what he really wants is to win this title, and he's almost just one set away from it.
First, he needs to serve out this second set at 5-3.
And we've seen him become overwhelmed on the grand occasions. Again, he was injured last year, his shoulder and his ankle, in fact, but he just didn't compete well. And he was up a break in the final set against Leighton Hewitt in the year-end championships and got very tight and lost that one. Can't stop comparing the efforts of Juan Carlos Ferrero this fortnight to those of Justine Henin-Ardern, who had to finally prove herself and get a Grand Slam, win a major title. And she dedicated to her mother, and believe me, that's what this man will do if he can win this event. Most devastating thing that ever happened to him, he says, is losing his mom 5 years ago.
Pumpkins. Correction ball was good.
That's too bad.
The points.
I guess it was a call made out by the linesman. Correct overrule, no question. But that was Ferrero's point.
We can do these mistakes, but I want a point this year.
But he's not going to win this argument. Because Verkerk was still in the point.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt they got to play a let. But you see here, Ferrero scrambles. That ball's going to hit the line, but it's called out. And you see he's in obviously a winning position right there. But he still just has to tell himself, look up at the scoreboard. 6-1, 5-3, 35, 2 points from a 2 sets lead.
Poise under pressure. Look how far back he's got Verkerk. That's why when he opens this one up, Verkerk is in no good position to deal with it. When you have to defend against somebody's great length and depth and pace of shot, you leave yourself vulnerable to the short stuff.
Juan Ferrero, 1 set from his dream, the French Open Championship. Greatest moments of the French Open presented by Raymond James. Can it be 20 years ago? Yes, it was that colorful Frenchman Yannick Noah appeared in the only Grand Slam singles final of his career, playing defending French Open champion Mats Wilander. Noah's energy and enthusiasm enthralled the adoring French crowd, and he took the title in straight sets. A day to remember for France. No Frenchman has won at Roland Garros since Noah's memorable victory. And we're expecting an appearance by Yannick Noah here today on the 20th anniversary of that memorable championship.
Well, he'll be handing out the trophy to the winner, and it sure looks as though he's going to be handing it to Juan Ferrero. Unless this guy becomes one careless Ferrero, we got ourselves a champ here.
Well, they better call Yannick up and get him out here. I don't think he's made his appearance yet.
Martin Verkerk, huge serve. It has not been a weapon today, and he'll think back almost like Groundhog Game. He was broken twice in the second set. Both games he was up 15-love. Both games at 15-love he tried drop shots.
You and your drop shot, Ted.
He's no Albert Portis, okay?
The bigger problem for him is he hasn't even held twice in a row.
I got a bigger problem. He's physically and mentally weary against the best clay court player in the world.
And John, nerves can exhaust you. I mean, apart from the fact that he's got an incredible amount of tennis in him, more tennis than he's ever played in 2 weeks, tension can just exhaust you.
That's what his coach was saying before the match to me. I mean, he felt exhausted, and that he was worried about his man. He was having trouble getting anything going. Now that he realizes that better get something going the next 5-10 minutes. Perhaps this game.
15-30.
knows that was a gift for Verkerk at love 30. Just no apparent reason to miss that for him. Doesn't want to give Verkerk a ray of hope here.
But that big bomb for Verkerk, 27 aces against Moya, 19 in just 3 sets, or rather 4 sets with Coria. No, 3 sets. Only 8 today.
Big defensive lob. Unbelievably windy out there right now. They say the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And right now, it's just getting more and more one-sided.
In fact, during that rally, you could actually see the top dressing of Philippe Chatrier court being blown off the court. So now it's going to play even faster. And you'd think that would help Verkerk.
30-40.
He certainly needs all the help he can get right now. Conditions are playing slower than they have been throughout the 2 weeks because it's cooled down some. Conditions are overcast, but perhaps that will give him some reason to hope.
What a number there. 12 break chances already for Ferrero on this man's serve.
Premier service.
Correction.
Oh boy, and Ferrero's not happy with that. Hit an excellent return. The game was his. I guess it was called out again.
Rejouer le point.
He doesn't want to have to try to do that again.
Verkerk surviving
It's survival mode right now.
and just by the narrowest of margins on that shot. You can just see the shirt of Verkerk what that wind is doing right now. There is no more top dressing.
It's just blowing away.
It's gusting up into the faces of the patrons on one side of the court.
No.
Where's Toto?
Juan Carlos Ferrero held up his hand because the dust is flying right into his eyes. Crushed red brick. It's very, very difficult. This stuff is blowing right up at him. And he will be allowed to play again.
I'll tell you one thing, if Verkerk holds serve here, if there's anything that's going to annoy Ferrero, it could be that.
Well, he thought the game was his.
Right.
So he's going to have to move past that. That may take a few games. It gives Verkerk a chance to jump at him early in this third set. Perhaps still make a match of this.
And Verkerk does, pumps in his 9th ace. So he holds after saving break points. A new name added to this list of the last 8 champions on the men's side. Only repeat name on there, Leighton Hewitt. Where's Thomas Johansson?
Well, he's had all types of injury problems. He's trying to fight his way back to shoulder problems. Goran is actually taking a wild card at next week's tune-up, trying to get ready for one last stab at Wimbledon.
Goran is going to try to play. what will undoubtedly be his farewell. He can make it to the All England club.
That's where Verkerk should have won the point. Scrambling is Ferrero. This is a tremendous get there from Verkerk to run that down, showing some excellent speed.
Great presence of mind of Juan Ferrero. Anticipating that it could come back, and there for the nice little stick volley.
And to think that was a 6'6" guy in Verkerk scrambling back and getting down that low to hit that ball.
Looked like he had something left there. Ferrero with the serve volley. Holds easily to 1-0. Believe it or not, Ted and Mary, they just finished on another court, which I have no idea why they did this. But Clijsters, Sugiyama, good for Kim to come back after yesterday's disappointment, have just won over Rana Pascual, the Suarez, the #1 team in the world, 9-7 in the third. What in the world have they been doing out there at the same time as the men's final?
You don't want to get me going on that subject.
Well,
women played on court 1. The women's doubles championship gets relegated to court 1, where there aren't even TV cameras today.
We should explain. We would love to even show match point of that if we could, but there is not a single. The French do not man that court.
It just gets.
I mean, at the very least, they could have started it here at 12 o'clock.
Well, at least Kim Clijsters leaves with a prize.
Well, it's a birthday. Happy birthday.
Yes, that's right.
And it makes you feel, I told her before the match, you feel a little better if you come back and win that doubles. And it's good for her because they were down in the third set and pulled it out. That's Sugiyama, Mary. She's some character. She never stops laughing. Thought I was a comedian for a second.
And Sugiyama played a very good match earlier in the fortnight.
Very good.
Against Serena Williams.
She is an excellent player, showing she can play some great singles as well as doubles. Here's Verkerk tossing in double fault number 7.
And following with ace number 10.
That's the type of match he wants. He doesn't want Ferrero to keep that groove going. Just if he is able to make Ferrero feel like he's dictating play, even when he goes for a lot, it's not bad to throw in some doubles sometimes. He feel like he's gone 2, 3, 4 points without hitting any shots. Just no footwork there, though.
John, we have one other score from today, another championship update. Your streak, sadly, is intact. Brian Baker of Nashville, Tennessee, was defeated in 3 sets in the junior boys championship here. But nonetheless, a game effort.
He can play on clay, Brian Baker. That's nice to see. Moves well, slides well. Oh, that's a great return of serve.
He hit that from Versailles, didn't he?
Oh, man.
We don't have cameras for that return. I mean, he is way back there.
40.
That's the thing about clay, though. If you get your racket on it and place it fairly well, it's very, very tough to run that ball down.
And there's so much court here. It's a great defensive court. Court Philippe Chatrier. So much room behind the baseline, even wide. This is the biggest tennis court in the world.
And psychologically, it gives another, as if they need more edges, the clay court players, that you have this extra space. I mean, God, that's annoying.
And what would be the smallest court if this is the biggest? Is there one that stands out for being the smallest?
You're talking about the 4 Grand Slams?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Wimbledon as he breaks serve. But wait a second, I might have spoken too soon. It's called good.
It's called good. So a break for Ferrero in the third. Charles Schwab PowerPoints, a look at the power off the ground of Juan Carlos Ferrero.
That's not a, that's a power drop shot.
Thank you. Nice save.
There's a power shot. Whipping that ball with that rotation, excellent rotation, and coming over the ball with that wrist snap, and he is well on his way here. Looks inevitable now that Ferrero will pull this out.
You know, John, you referenced Wimbledon earlier for him, and Ferrero said, you know, Nalbandian made the finals last year, and he said Nalbandian uses the same racket as Ferrero, strings it the same way as Ferrero. So Ferrero said, why not me? Why can't I be
Good. Get over there and start practicing. That's what we need. That's why, boy, that was a horrendous miss there, but that's why Bjorn Borg's run at the French, winning here 6 times and following it up. He's the last guy to do it, by the way, but in 5 straight Wimbledon is such a miraculous feat and good for the game. He can turn it around that fast. He'll remember that shot if Verkerk somehow makes a match of this.
Pumpkins.
Just trying for anything as Verkerk to get on a roll. He's not been able to sustain anything for any length of time.
See, those grunts are telling Ferrero, I'm whipped here, I'm tired. Just, if anything, encouraging him. He is whipped. That's the problem.
Unforced errors jumping out from Verkerk.
going to look at that now. It's called just long. I think that was a payback call. Not sure that was even the mark. Bottom line is it's 3-1 for
Ferrero
Ferrero.
mène 3 jeux à 1.
Verkerk has got to get something going right now. Do not, whatever you do, lose serve here.
Yes.
That's a wicked shot right there.
He started his accuracy very early on Carlos Ferrero. Even before he ever stepped on a tennis court, he used to hit against
0-15.
the wall of his father's factory, and he would aim at a light socket. Just go to hit that time and time again. He hit it a lot.
Yes. It's really a great story for kids in any sport. Targets, accuracy. But right now, Ferrero has that look in his eye. I want to finish it right here. And he knows one break will do that to the spirit of Verkerk.
But the problem is that Verkerk has that look in his eye. I've had enough. Where's the exit? There you go. Just get some of those big first serves and
11 aces.
15-30.
3 more in a row would be nice. Up to 44%.
Well, even there, a point Verkerk thought was over, and Ferrero, out of nowhere, at least made a good effort.
He's played a brilliant match. I mean, the only thing that's at all untidy about this guy is his hair right now. Everything else has been pitch perfect.
Yeah. My son tells me that's the style, though. But yours?
At least if he holds here, it gives Ferrero gives him something to think about.
40-30.
2 breaks, that takes the pressure off Juan Carlos. 1. There's always hope.
Oh, man. Magnificent. Handling all that heat from Verkerk, stepping into the court, taking it early, spitting it back. With depth, with precision.
40.
Also, as gusty as these conditions are, he's placing the ball extremely well.
You have to move so well in the wind, too, and that's something that Juan Carlos Ferrero does all the time.
Avantage.
So the moment now for Verkerk. And I don't know that as good as Ferrero is, we could have envisioned this many great chances. The way Verkerk had served for 6 matches.
Verkerk had to win that point twice. Tremendous backhand to get him to the net.
Égalité.
And that's what they do, those clay court specialists. They make you hit one last shot. Unfortunately for Martin, helped to be 6-6 there and be able to hit that to the open court. Gets back to deuce. It's a long way to run for Verkerk. It's just, once he committed to running around that backhand, which I'm not sure why he would do in the first place, because arguably his backhand's better. That energy it took, and the wind gusting away from him, just opened up the court for Ferrero. Plus, he's going to be more whipped on this point, fatigued.
It's as if Ferrero's taking all of Verkerk's best bolts and throwing them back in his face. Is that all you got?
Timed that one beautifully, Verkerk. Coming off a pretty big return, Verkerk kind of moved into this shot and again, just timed it so well.
Had to hit the line to win that point. If you can hit backhands like that, don't run around your backhand.
Avantage. Ferrero.
Ferrero just seems so fresh out there. He's got plenty left.
Verkerk is missing a lot of these shots because his movement isn't there. He's not getting himself positioned properly behind the ball.
Rather risky slide there from Ferrero.
Just think of how much running Ferrero's done in this game. Shot after shot, and he's gotten almost every one back. Verkerk teased, he thought he had one. He does have one.
He needs everything he can get. Number 12.
Avantage. Verkerk.
This will give him a jolt at least. He had to win this game. If he can pull it out, I will certainly try to encourage him. Yeah. Tries to employ the serve volley tactic, hits what he thinks is a reasonably good volley, and it was. These scramblers, these devastating clay court specialists, they just don't let it go.